let me do my best to make sure that I do this right, do this justice. I'm gonna try to get my Hayes voice on for you. Chicago Cubs Central, Chicago Cub fans, listen, it's game day. Woo! Feels good to say that. That's right. The Chicago Cubs play baseball today. And listen, today's episode, we got two topics we want to talk about. Obviously, we got to decide some things during spring training. There's 3 spots to watch for in spring training that still need to be claimed. And then last but not least, we got a mailbag too with an important question about an important pitcher in baseball history. Let's bring it all in right after this. Do you feel it? Do you feel it, Chicago? Do you feel it, Cub fans? Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Do you feel it? That's right. The Chicago Cubs play baseball today. Oh my goodness. It's been such a long time. I thought this moment would never happen, but it is here, y'all. The Chicago Cubs open up spring training at 2:05 today against none other than the Chicago White Sox right in Sloan Park in the Cactus League opener. It will be aired on MLB TV as well as the Marquee Sports Network and on 104.3 FM, The Score, or you can also listen to it on Odyssey as well. So listen, y'all, I need you guys to make sure that you do a couple of things here before we begin. We are on the road to 3,000 subscribers. Once we hit that 3,000 mark, names go into the Tumblr and we dish out a free Chicago Cubs jersey. That's right. So you need to make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast. All subscribers will go into that Tumblr. One name will be chosen out at random, and that person will be notified that they have won a free Chicago Cubs jersey. How do you get more of your name into the Tumblr? Well, it's simple. You go and add yourself to the Chicago Cubs Central Facebook group. That's right. You want to head over to Facebook and add yourself to the Chicago Cubs Central Facebook group. In this group, not only do you get early access to episodes, you also get to know about what's coming up with upcoming episodes, as well as there's group conversation. We'll do watch-alongs. We'll do many other things, but make sure that you are part of that Chicago Cubs Facebook group. You do not want to miss what's going on in there. Now, with that being said, y'all, the Chicago Cubs, we got to talk about it because we got spring training on the way. And guys, I'm hyped, man. I'm excited. The Chicago Cubs versus the Chicago White Sox tomorrow in the Cactus League opener that will be aired on MLB TV, on Marquee Sports Network, and things like that. So really, what we're looking at here, though, is you know what you got going on with your position players. You know what you got going on with your starting rotation for the most part. You know what you got going on with all these things. However, there are still some spots and some places that the Chicago Cubs have not yet fully filled. So here are the 3 top spots that the Chicago Cubs still need to fill. Number 1, the final bullpen spot. Now, who are your contenders for the final bullpen spot for the Chicago Cubs? Javier Assad, Ben Brown, Porter Hodge, Corbin Martin, Colin Snyder, and Jordan Wicks, and others. So the Cubs overhauled their bullpen over the winter, but 7 of the 8 jobs look set as things currently stand. However, newcomers Phil Maton, Hobie Milner, Hunter Harvey, and Jacob Webb have spots, along with returnees Caleb Teobar and Daniel Palencia. With the rotation set at the moment, veteran Colin Ray looks like he'll have a relief job as well. There is a long list of names, both from the 40-man roster and within the pool of non-roster invites that will be under consideration for the last vacancy spot. Hodge was a key part of the 24 cast before injuries and command issues hurt him last year, but he is an intriguing option. There also is Ben Brown, Javier Assad, and Wicks that are also rotation depth, but they could push for relief jobs with a strong spring. So you have to look at this and you say to yourself, the Chicago Cubs do have a multitude of options that could very well maybe start in AAA, but also find themselves onto the big league roster. If I had to guess for my money, who I think is going to take that last roster spot, I would tell you it would be Javier Assad. I do not think it'll be Porter Hodge. I do not think it'll be Ben Brown. I think both of those guys will pitch for the iCubs to start the season. Obviously, there will be injuries. There will be people that will fall out of the rotation, out of the line of trust or the tree of trust with Craig Counsell. Porter Hodge and Ben Brown both will get their opportunities to pitch for the main roster this season. However, to start the season, I expect Javier Assad to take that role. Now, I could absolutely be wrong in that. However, I do think that is probably who's going to take that role. But no matter how the opening day bullpen shakes out, this is an area in which depth becomes key throughout the year. And the Cubs like the pool of options they have at this point. Craig Counsell had this to say on the matter. He said, bullpens change. All the guys are important from that perspective because things change really fast in that world. You have to be prepared for it. We have to have, as a pitching group, develop everybody to see where it goes. You want as many, however you want to say it, candidates, projects, options as you can, because you know that you'll have to provide answers there. And one cool thing that the Chicago Cubs have been able to do, especially over the last 2 seasons, is really revamp that bullpen on the fly. So even if guys don't make the 40-man roster to start the season, that does not guarantee that they won't be on the team. That just means that to start the season, they may start in AAA or in AA or somewhere else or pitch somewhere else, or the Cubs find them at another spot. But that does not mean that they will not be a part of the team. Obviously, your big ones, Jordan Wicks, as well as Ben Brown, as well as Porter Hodge, I do believe all three of those players will be in the AAA system for the Chicago Cubs. Some of those non-invitee names are guys that you will see probably more than likely join the join on to AA, or maybe we'll go somewhere else, and the Chicago Cubs offer them a spot later on should they need them. Now, let's move on. Spot number 2, the fourth outfield job. So contenders, Kevin Alcantara, Dylan Carlson, Justin Dean, and Chas McCormick. So the Cubs outfield is locked in with 4-time Gold Glove Ian Happ in left, All-Star and Gold Glove winner Pete Crow Armstrong at center, and slugger Seiya Suzuki in right. What Chicago has to solve is who will offer a backup plan behind that trio. So Matt Shaw is a reserve at multiple infield spots, but he also is going to get action as an outfielder this spring in preparation for a super sub role. Besides him, the Cubs are considering Alcantara and Dean from the 40-man roster and taking a close look at 2 non-roster veterans in Dylan Carlson and McCormick. I think we've got a good plan there, Counsell said. We'll see kind of how that unfolds, but I like our candidates. I really do. So literally, if I had to bet my money, I think that the Jaguar, Kevin Alcantara, will probably start the season in AAA. They still need big name to sell tickets down there for the up there for the iCubs. So in Iowa. So I do believe Kevin Alcantara will be a part of that AAA roster. If I had to guess who's going to get that fourth roster spot, I do believe it'll end up being Dylan Carlson. Now, does that mean Dylan Carlson will keep that spot throughout the season? Absolutely not. The Cubs could absolutely DFA that man. Absolutely. However, like I said, I think that he offers a option for the Chicago Cubs out there. He can play multiple outfield spots out there, and he can. And if you seek to have maybe Seiya Suzuki sit a day or DH a day, then you can absolutely put Carlson out there in the outfield, and he can provide for you. But again, like Craig Counsell said, it's never bad to have options out there. So last but not least, the last position player spot. So in all likelihood, a position player slot will go to Moises Ballesteros, who projects to get a lot of at-bats as a DH and can help as a third-string catcher. As of Thursday, though, Ballesteros, a native of Venezuela, was still absent due to visa issues. It has been an unfortunate delay for the Cubs' top prospect at the start of an important camp. That said, Council was hopeful that Ballesteros, who impressed the Cubs in his MLB stints last year, would arrive in Arizona soon. He is projected to show up to the club as early as Saturday of this week, meaning he will miss the first preseason game of the Chicago Cubs, which is not a good thing when you think about it, because you really want your young guys to get as much go in spring training as possible. However, this really should not impact opening day for Moises Ballesteros. Craig Counsell said that we're optimistic right now that he's going to be here shortly. If that should happen, I think we're in a good place. He's going to be behind in terms of what you see him in a game, but with the kind of normal spring training schedule, I feel confident in the number of games we're looking at here. Again, this guys does not affect should not affect how much or if he gets a roster spot. I truly believe that last roster spot will go to him. Now, I do believe that if he struggles, the Chicago Cubs could absolutely look to make another move or an in-season trade and move him back down to AAA. But here's the thing. If he's going to be primarily DH, you may see him behind the dish a little bit. I do honestly think that Moises Ballesteros will hold it down and have a decent hitting season. I believe Moises Ballesteros could have a decent hitting season for the Chicago Cubs. What's a decent hitting season for Moises Ballesteros, you ask? I look at somewhere between 15 to 18 home runs. I look at a batting average around 255 to 260. And I look at a guy that probably gives you somewhere around 60 to 80 RBIs. That's a really good season for a guy playing his first full season for the club. So, I mean, like I said, that's a really good season for him. So we'll just have to see what Mo Bally is able to pull for the Chicago Cubs. He's a hard hitter. He is somebody that can be counted on to drive in runs, but also hit the long ball. I'm excited to see what he's able to do. Give him a full season at DH with an option to catch sometimes. They will carry 3 catchers this season, apparently, for the team. It looks like you will have Miguel Amaya, you'll have Carson Kelly, and then there will be an option for Mo Bally to also catch for the club. He also can play first base if needed. So, again, there is options out there for him. Now, with that being said, that's what you want to look for during spring training. I want to see who carries those last spots. Those guys will all get an opportunity. Jameson Taillon will, however, start tomorrow's game for the Chicago Cubs. Expect him to go an inning or less for the Chicago Cubs, probably an inning and a half, maybe for Ballesteros today for the Cubs. I'm sorry, not for Ballesteros, for sorry, I'm talking too fast. Expect an inning or and a half for Jameson Taillon today for the Chicago Cubs. So we're looking forward to that. And then past that, guys, we're going to go ahead and hit the mailbag question with this one from Rich.
What's his name? Gillespie. Talk about Trevor Bauer. He said, man, if I were the Cubs, I'd go after him, but it seems like he's been blacklisted. He looks good.
So this is a question that gets asked quite often, and I have the answer for you, at least my answer for you. Should the Cubs sign Trevor Bauer? Now, Trevor Bauer is somebody that is 35 years old. Trevor Bauer pitched and played for the University of California, Los Angeles. Trevor Bauer last pitched in the majors in the 2021 season for the Los Angeles Dodgers, signed a huge contract with them, was expected to really be their ace. He was somebody that, like I said, that they were expecting to win multiple World Series with. However, Trevor Bauer got caught up in an issue with being accused of I believe like it was domestic violence was the issue that he was accused with, and Trevor Bauer ended up being cut from the team. And because of that, he literally has been blackballed from the MLB. So Trevor Bauer is somebody, last time he pitched, had an ERA of 2.59, a record of 8-5. He was somebody that was able to provide dominant pitching for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And with Trevor Bauer recently as last week showing up with within the Cubs system, I guess. I don't know if you want to know call it the Cubs system or whatnot, but he showed up. He was pitching to a young player in the Cubs organization for a video. Obviously, Trevor Bauer didn't have any Cubs gear on or anything like that. There's no talk of a contract or anything like that with Trevor Bauer. But this is obviously a question that I get all the time. Should the Chicago Cubs look to sign Trevor Bauer? What would the Chicago Cubs look like if they should sign Trevor Bauer? Honestly, Trevor Bauer does still throw gas. His time in Japan, he has thrown gas. He looks like he can still pitch. He looks like he can still go. The problem is in a season where so much is at risk and so much is on the line, it will provide more of a distraction than it would a help. And that's why I'm going to go with no. If you're a team that is looking to fend for a World Series, as the Chicago Cubs team is looking to fight for, this adds nothing but media drama and distraction to a team that normally flies under the radar out of a lot of that. Sans your issues with your former second baseman. I'm sorry, shortstop. So like I said, with the Chicago Cubs have to keep their heads straight. Because this is something an unnecessary distraction. Now, again, do I think Trevor Bauer can help a MLB club, a pro club? Absolutely. Do I think that he can still pitch? Absolutely. It's just the circus that comes around him or goes around him with stuff like that. Even though he's been cleared of all the issues, even though the judge cleared him of everything, there's still a reason why no MLB team will touch him. So again, guys, I do not think that it's likely that Trevor Bauer gets signed by the Chicago Cubs. But you tell me in the comments below. You tell me. I literally had on the old channel before I lost it. There was a subscriber that would literally comment every single episode. Sign Trevor Bauer. Sign Trevor Bauer. And literally, like I said, I addressed it then, so I haven't addressed it on the new channel. So I'm here to address it in front of all of you. I do not think the Chicago Cubs are going to sign Trevor Bauer. However, I do think Trevor Bauer can help a club. What do you guys think? Do you think the Chicago Cubs ought to give Trevor Bauer a look? Do you worry about the Chicago Cubs' depth as far as pitching? How do you think we'll fare? What do you think the Chicago Cubs should do? Listen, guys, I'm super excited. Don't forget, we're going to have Crosstown Conversations this coming Sunday. Me and Big Kev will be back for that on Sunday. We'll talk about the Chicago Cubs versus the Chicago White Sox game on Friday, what we liked, what we didn't like, as well as, like I said, I have another episode. My buddy Rich Mercer is going to do an episode with me next week. And I have a special guest coming and doing an episode with me that will debut next Friday. So you definitely don't want to miss that. We're going to have a blast, guys. I'm excited to do this with you. And guys, baseball is back. Baseball is back, baby. Make sure that you guys like, share, and subscribe. We're going to do some watch-alongs here. You don't want to miss those. When I announce those, you guys want to make sure that you're in tune with that for the watch-alongs. We'll definitely do more during spring training. But I'm excited, man. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a really, really, really good, fun season. It all starts with spring training, y'all. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you join the Chicago Cubs Central podcast group on Facebook. Don't miss out on that opportunity. And again, y'all, we are etching ever so close. Last I saw, we were at 2,938 subscribers. So we are very, very close to getting to 3,000 subscribers. And when we hit that 3,000 mark, guys, I'm giving away a free Chicago Cubs jersey. You don't want to miss that episode. Please make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button when the episode drops so that you know when that jersey giveaway happens. You guys don't want to miss it. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, go Cubs, go. Peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.